Good morning. Coco. Snowball. You see DJ back behind Snowball. All the other roosters, so yep, their time is coming short. Oh. Looks like we had a little bit of rain while we were gone. That's nice. Well, what's going on today? All right, welcome back to the journey, folks. So today is actually going to start a new series of a project that we're working on, and that's getting this thing upgraded just a little bit. All right, well, it's actually going to be a multi-part series. So we're going to be expanding the chicken coop, not only for chickens, but also for that one. Come here. Miss Giggles, right now, she's just been sleeping inside of the coop, basically on the floor. And even though she's had decent bedding in there, it hasn't been the greatest. You haven't had your own house, huh? So not only do we need to spread out the love, right? We need to build her a house. So with that being said, I'm gonna go look around and see what I have here on the property already for materials wise, and let's get to building the goose house. So obviously coming through, I guess what we'd consider the boneyard. Man, I can't wait for all this stuff to just get cleaned up slowly but surely. So I do know I have a beam here that I definitely be able to utilize, because I think what I'm gonna do is kind of like an A-frame. That's one of the things that Gladys really liked, was the A-frame look. That would make actually a really great top beam, right, for the roof. And then kind of coming through here. Now, obviously this building's coming down at some point, but I have, other stuff in here. Obviously some small things, a shelf, right? There's a shelf up there not being utilized. I can reuse some of that wood. I already have some wood in here, right? 2x4s. I mean, there's even some older bed frame stock, but all of this can come down, so I can reutilize that as well. This shelf can even come down if I need to. We can reutilize all that as well. So that's some decent wood. I got some, what is this, some 2x6s, it looks like. Some 2x4s, and then yeah, that's about it for the most part. And then let's go see what we have up front. Obviously, if I want to do any type of rough cedar type posts, I have plenty of materials here I can come kind of go through. Sure would be nice to get a sawmill. I have a lot of lumber that's just sitting there waiting to be sawed up. So yeah, at some point we'll get it. All right, let's head over yonder. Okay, up here, like I already knew that I had some 2x6s that I was kind of using as bunks. It's all ground contact stuff. I was kind of utilizing that for setting logs and stuff on up here previously. A lot of stuff that we ended up getting, from the Bearded Carpenter, that we had utilized. And basically, yeah, a lot of the stuff has either been used or moved or gotten rid of, right? But I have this one and this one. That's plenty to be able to make, because I'm only looking at doing like a 4 foot by 4 foot. So if I cut that in half, that'd be plenty for a floor for the base, and then reutilize some of the stuff I have in the shop. All right, and then over here, we do have some barn wood that Dad had picked up. This stuff it has a lot of like carpenter bees and other stuff. I mean, you can see that this has already been kind of getting eaten up by termites and stuff, but still it's there. Obviously we still have roofing material, and then still got some 6x6 posts, so that's good. And then all that stuff's been up off the ground, not in contact, even though it's ground contact. We've been keeping it up and off the ground, so got plenty of that I could utilize as well. All right, well, I guess it's time to go fire up. Well, I guess it's time to go fire up old Ginger, my red-headed mistress, and let's get to work. Well, the pond filled up a little bit with a little bit of rain we had come through the other day. We actually have more rain coming. So, it's one of the things I kind of looked at over here that I'm gonna need to take care of probably tomorrow. So I'll bring you all along. So this area of the creek right here, I kind of filled in just a little bit to be able to drive through here and just get out some nasty stuff when I was kind of cleaning up this fence line. But it's also going to block a lot of water. Not allow the water to go through the creek. So I need to get over here and just kind of finish clearing this out. Plus at some point I still need to get this tree out here too. I probably won't take care of that right away, but because this is kind of like a bottleneck right in here, and it allows the creek to kind of go over the banks and flood. So you see I already have water sitting here because it doesn't go nowhere. So we'll take care of that tomorrow. I don't know if you can hear that on camera, but I can hear hunting dogs on my property. Do not like that. Do not like that one iota. Let me grab my hammer. Those are not going to want to come out. So, well, actually, let me see. Because I need to. Oh, goodness. Well, so if I cut it off here, So I do need one of these to be a little shorter for the thickness of the wood. Because they are going to kind of overlap. I'm going to have to cut just one of these boards a little shorter. That way that it'll all overlap and kind of sit in, which, I mean, I'll show you what that looks like here in a sec. So I do need to cut this to here, and that will actually bypass the screws. Have a long and a short. And I'll cut those notches out in a second. Right now, I just want to cut out the longs and the shorts, and we'll get this kind of set up 4x4 square of the base, and then it's going to be sitting actually on feet, and then we'll do the A-frame on top of that. Alright, let me cut out the other one. So I got this board marked out of where I want to cut it. And the problem with this, of what I need to do, is this one's actually going to have a screw. One of those older screws. I don't think I can get it out. Because they're an older type of deck screw. They don't have the heads in them. And they normally don't like to come out once you put them in. Looky there, that one came out. Yeah, because these, it has the different types of screws in there, so it prevents them from backing out very easily. All right, so now I got this. I don't want to cut all the way through that. I only need to cut through the thickness of that wood. There. Okay, so now that I have that notched out, my next one that I want to do is now I need to notch these top boards, the thickness, basically 1.5 inches here. That way this piece here goes under here, and then I can attach a screw from here to this one. But then this one here will kind of sit into here, that way I can put screws in this way. And then it's going to lock everything down, and then as you can see, it leaves me a lip inside and leaves me a wall here. And that's to allow, because I'm going to have other pieces of wood in here, and what's going to happen is allows us to put down a deep bedding, you know, at least 2 to 3 inches thick of some nice thick bedding, preferably the hemp pulp, if we can get it. So yeah, all right, almost there. All right, so I cut the majority of the way through that with the skill saw or circular saw. And now I'm just going to finish it up with the hand saw. Dirty. Yeah, I was cutting into motherboard. That's what I did not want to do. Yeah, it's fine. Won't be able to see it. Alrighty. Alright, let me do the other one. get some movement. Square says it's square. $66 3/4. $66 7/8. Put that in the 1/8 of an inch. Lattice would say that's 66 3/4 and a tick. And this is 66 3/4 and a tick. So, oh, it's good. Put the screws in. Apologize for any of the wind. One of these days we'll actually get some decent mics. More screws on the sides. Hear ya. Yeah, one thing that I am going to have to do with this, because this is going to be basically a bedded area, is I need to figure out which side I want to be able to open. That way we can kind of like fold down the whole thing, and I would just have to put like a hinge set. But I'll cut like an actual opening out of this piece here, right? Either this one of them, right? I'll kind of figure out which one I'm going to do, and then with that, it'll allow me, or allow either me or Gladys, more likely Gladys, to get in here and kind of rake this stuff out and clean it. Like I said, you know, if you're using some of that, because I've watched a few other channels, a few other videos of people that do like coops professionally, and they highly suggest using, it's the hemp pulp, right? And it's the fine. So they have some of the bigger stuff that you can use for like hempcrete, or they have like horse bedding stuff. You know, it's a bigger chunk. And for the geese and for the ducks, it's actually a lot better to use the smaller fine stuff. And we can order that online. We do not have that here locally, but we can get it online. So more than likely I'll try looking into that, because the person that I saw using that, she only changed out her bedding once per year, and she has 4 geese. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And that's with a 6x6 house. So this is going to be a 4x4 house. And yeah, I think we'll be able to get at least 1 more, possibly 2 more geese in the future. You know, give Giggles a little bit of company, right? All right, well, let's continue on this build. All right, here we go. Then I didn't catch this on camera. Gladys was actually just taking off appointment for the kiddo, her dentist appointment. So I got all these cut up. Basically, these are 1-foot blocks that's going through. It actually used to be like an old post for a porch, I guess. And then, so they are hollow, right? They are hollow all the way through. See? Hello there. And then for the bottom, I'm actually going to seal these up. I have some treatment, basically the same treatment that I'd used on the post for that little shop storage. I keep calling it a shop over there. Technically, it's not a shop. It's actually going to be storage. That's storage we're going to utilize for lumber, for hay, just storage. And then on the side of it, I will have like blacksmith shop. But anyway, bobbing off. Yeah, that's our squirrel we still haven't seen, Bob. So those are done. I'm gonna go ahead. So this is the bottom side, right? I have it flipped over. And then I was trying to find my pocket hole set. I couldn't do that. I couldn't find it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a smaller drill bit. I'm just gonna kind of countersink some holes into this on all 4 sides. That way I can screw in, you know, going into the floor that way. That way I'm not really having to trust, you know, a screw kind of holding it like this direction, right? Which, I mean, I'll probably still throw in at least 1 or 2 from the top, but I want to be able to drill, you know, going into it like that direction. All right, so let me get all these drills, all these holes done, and then we'll bring you back. So at this point, I'm actually just putting up some temporary 2x4s. So I already know the height that I want this to be able to have a 60-degree angle. I kind of went through ChatGPT and put in a bunch of dimensions, and it told me exactly where I needed to put it based off of my beam, right? So I have a beam that is almost 3 inches thick and 6 inches wide, and then roughly 5 feet long. So let me throw this up here. I still need to put some bracing in because obviously my ground's not flat, right? So trying to work on an unlevel surface and make stuff level, it gets kind of interesting, right? So I want to make sure that at least one of these here, like this one, is square. I mean, just eyeballing it, it looks fine, but I want to make sure that it is square, okay? So let me throw that beam up there. Plus, right now I'm out of screws, so I do need to go to the store. And then, so yeah, let me just go get what I need, and then I'll be right back. Okay, got the extra 2x6s I need. Got the box of screws that I need, both construction 3-inch, and then also got some construction 1 3/4 to be able to do, because right now, obviously this video is only the base and the frame, right? I'm getting all the framing taken care of. And then whenever it comes time to actually do the front and the back wall, then yeah, we'll do that separate along with the roof, right? So yeah, let me go ahead and get this beam up here, and then we'll start doing some rafters. Okay, so I made myself a little template. I put the entire piece to where it was attached to the beam, well, it wasn't attached, but it's just sitting there. And then sitting here and on the ground, actually I used the block to where it sat up a little bit. And then I made some marks, right? Basically in line with my beam. That way it could give me a little bit of a bird's mouth that I can cut out. And then, because I want both of these to actually meet here in the middle, that way I can put a screw through to either side. And then I can also come in this way, right here, and screw in, because I have some longer bolts that I can come in from here and do that on either side and basically secure them into this center beam. All right, so that's good to go. Now each one of these, for the 3 pieces I already had, were 6 feet 2 inches. So I went ahead and cut that one at 6 feet 2 inches and then use whatever was left to basically make this, right? And yeah, so now I can take this off, go ahead and trace that, cut that out, but I'm gonna cut all the rest of them at 6 foot 2 because I don't think I'm gonna cut the bottoms. I'm just gonna leave the bottoms how they sit naturally. And then, yeah, I know it's kind of an overkill for a goose house, but hey, 2x6s, it's gonna be nice and strong. And being a 60-degree roof, it's not gonna hold snow. So, all right, well, let's get these traced over to those, and then let's get them all put up here. And that's what it's gonna look like. So that board from tip to toe, 6 foot 2 inches. And then it gives us a nice little overhang down here at the bottom. All right, and then yeah, that's basically it. So down here too, this will be like screened off. That way stuff doesn't get in there, right, and whatnot. But it's going to allow for ventilation and stuff like that to go in there. And then up here at the top, okay, right in like here region, we're going to have a fan that will go in that we can turn on and off and to help with ventilation. And then I may or may not have like a window or something on this side, right? But like I was saying, I am going to have to open up the bottom for probably this side, because it's going to be the back side, because I actually have a little more of an overhang in the front. That way we can hang like a little light, little chandelier light or something like that. And then this back side will just be able to open up the entire thing and then be able to clean it out, rake it out, and all that stuff like that. So this whole thing will just basically lay flat down like this. So, all right. And then boom, I got all the legs on. Just like I showed you with the first one. And then this is what I'm going to be utilizing. So this is the Henry's. It's a asphalt emulsion sealer, damp proofer. Basically just getting right here at the very bottom, you know, just whatever's going to be making contact with the ground, maybe just a little bit here on the very, very bottom. But you know, we'll keep an eye on it. And it's basically just to kind of help seal this end grain. And that's it. That's really all I'm using it for. Well, second thought, I guess I'm not. Yeah, this stuff, and it's really not that old either, but it's already basically set up. Yeah, oh well. Well, I mean, if I need to try to seal this thing a little bit later, then I'll just have to pick it up with the tractor, I guess, and then seal it and set it back down. Good morning, actually into another day. So yesterday I basically only got this far into what I needed to do. So I actually had to readjust. I mean, you can see that the gap here. Well, I didn't cut that very straight. But yeah, whenever I did the measurements and everything, I was actually off by this much. So actually not a lot. So I'm going to actually trim this off and then go ahead and start doing some of my other boards. And then with this, since this does overhang, right, I do want to have another board coming out here in the front, so I'm going to use 2 of the nice boards up here in the front, and then I'm going to utilize the older boards for right here in the middle, right? So nice boards on the ends and such. But I'm probably just going to end up throwing it off to a time lapse as I kind of go through and do all this, because for this board out here, right, it doesn't have anything to attach to out here. So I'm going to have to be able to create kind of like another little piece that does stick out for it to attach, kind of like I said. Or what I was actually thinking about doing is, instead of having it attach to here, it'd be more just like a standard overhang, right, like on a building. So basically what that's going to do is the board that's out here is going to attach to the board that is here and already coming down. So it's going to have the different boards that attach to it, and then just kind of be done with that. So if I'm gonna do something like that, I would not want it to be like a full 2x6. So I would actually have to rip it down in length, but then I'll be able to utilize a lot of my offcuts for the blocking, right? So I don't know, we'll get it figured out and just kind of see how it goes. Here we go, folks. So that's basically for majority of the framing. I'm gonna have to get some more 1x4s. I thought I had more over in the metal building, but apparently I don't. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cut my blocks of what I need here. I'll go ahead and get those installed, and then I'll get this last set of rafters basically gonna go here on the end, come out, and then everything's just gonna be, I'll have probably 3 or 4 blocks in there connecting the 2 of them together. But yeah, I think it's gonna turn out okay. So let me go ahead and see how many blocks I can cut with my leftovers that I got. Let me get these cut up here, and then I'll bring you right back. Okay, just like that. So that little overhang is done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start kind of like framing out the door. So I'm doing an 18-inch door. I've already got this side put in, and basically it just comes up, cut it off flush with the roof. Now obviously I have that 1x4 over there on the other side. So let me bring this over here. And just like that, we have a header and a finished door. Well, I might put another piece of wood basically right here at the bottom, just to kind of give that a little more thickness. There's going to be a ramp here, obviously coming all the way in. Most of this will be filled, I mean, almost to the top of this ledge, right? So obviously there's going to be another piece of wood, laid down plywood I have to go get. I don't have that currently. And then I still need to get some more of the 1x4s to kind of finish out the roof. And then obviously we're gonna need the paneling, wood or whatnot to finish out the front, obviously to make the door. And then to also back here, be able to have basically a triangle that comes up, will open, right, close, open, allow us to kind of get in here and just clean all the stuff out. But I need to cut this portion of this wood out of where I want that to hinge. Okay, and then yeah, but pretty much this one, the framing is done for the most part of what I can get done currently. So thank you for following in on this journey as we're building Giggles a new house or mansion, cabin, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I think she's gonna love it. It's gonna give her plenty of space and gonna be able to get her out of the coop. That way we can go ahead and get over there and start doing the renovations to that as well. So it's just one step closer. But like I said, this is only part one of a multi-part series, and I actually have something special for this roof. Whether it gets done the first time, because I might just put metal on it for now until I can get the other stuff taken care of. But yeah, you're gonna have to come back to see what I plan to put on this roof. And it's not going to be metal. It might be metal at first, but it's not going to be metal in the long run. All right, so we definitely thank y'all. If you'd like to stick around a little bit further on this journey we call life, then go ahead and check out this video we have right here, or the whole year's playlist is over on this side, continues to grow as the year progresses. Then these icons up here at the top make it easy to subscribe both here and to our side channel. Go check that out. It's greatly appreciated. And then last but not least, always get out there, thank a veteran every chance you get, not only on Veterans Day. We'll see you on the next one. Later, friends.